Hi everyone, welcome back. We are on to the second video for today, and we're going to refine some of the changes we made in the last video by showing you a new tool. This tool is found over here. If you don't see it immediately, you may need to hold down on the tool until you get other options, but what we're looking for is this one, and it's called the patch tool. So make sure you have the patch tool selected. And with the patch tool, what you're going to do is you're going to select your problem area. So let's say I want to get rid of this poster now. I'm going to draw around the poster carefully. And in this one, we want to stay pretty close to the thing we're trying to get rid of. And now notice how it's showing me I can move this over. So if I click and hold and drag, watch what it does. It's actually sampling the new area that I've moved into and laying that on the space that I've circled. So I'm just looking carefully and making sure all my lines line up, kind of wiggling around a little bit to get it where it needs to be. And I think I'm close enough here. I'm going to let go. And now notice that that patch has been successfully moved over to a new place. Okay, so that's the patch tool. What I want to do now is try to use the patch tool to clean up some of this wonky area here that was left behind. First thing I want to do is I have my content aware fill there. And notice how it went into a new layer. So one thing I can do is I can merge these layers if I want to keep what I did. But I actually think it may work better if we just restart. So I'm going to delete what I created with Content Aware Fill. And I'm going to make sure I'm in my image that I want to be editing. I'm going to the Patch tool. I'm going to select carefully around it. You really want to be paying attention to lighting when you're doing stuff like this. I made a wobbly edge because my hand was unsteady, but if you can be a little more steady and do a nice selection, that's always better. So paying attention to lighting, what I mean by that is if I sampled this area over here, it's much darker, so even if I got the lines to line up, the color would be a little bit off. So what I want to do is actually come from here, and that's going to make a lot more sense in terms of how it's lit. So if I can line up my lines, and because of the perspective of this piece, it is still slightly off. Notice if I get those top lines right, the bottom line still doesn't quite meet up. And try to wiggle around and get it as best as I can. And we'll put it there for now. Okay. So which tool you use just depends on the scenario, and it's always a good idea to kind of experiment with a few different options and see what works best for you. I like Content Aware Fill for wide blank spaces where you're trying to delete one element from the blank space. It would work quite nicely for getting rid of the security camera up here as well. I like the patch tool for more intricate areas, but as you can see, this image would still take a bit of refining to make it look perfectly believable. So in the next video, I'll show you a new tool that you can use that does essentially the same thing, but allows you to refine a bit more and have a bit more control.